Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV. I hope we don't end up looking stupid because right now Liverpool haven't actually confirmed it, but I expect in about 15 seconds Liverpool are going to confirm Jeremie Frimpong, and it's done. Jeremie Frimpong is a Red. Look at this. You can see the official Twitter right now. Liverpool Football Club confirming that Liverpool have signed Jeremie Frimpong. Whoo, Stephen. Whoo, let's go, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic news. Yeah, on the day where they announced the departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool waste no time letting us all know who is his replacement. We all knew for a while, obviously, that this has been done. But yeah, Friday, 5 o'clock, Frimpong Friday is here. And yeah, it's very exciting, Chris. I think it's a wonderful piece of business in terms of everything that goes around it. The fact he's homegrown, the fact that there's a release clause, the fact that they've saved £10 million off the fee by letting Trent go to Real Madrid a few weeks early. It just feels like Liverpool again being back to being really clever in the transfer market. They've been doing this for a while, and then there was a little bit of departure from that at times. I always felt this feels like a really smart move, a really clever move, and yet they've probably, once they'd lost Alexander-Arnold, the right-back market wasn't amazing. I think they've probably got the best one, if you can call them right-back, which I think Liverpool will do. So, yeah, I think it's an absolutely fantastic piece of business. I think it's really clever. And, yeah, getting it done early as well, like I say, which is fantastic news. Being champions for 4 weeks has probably allowed them to do this kind of stuff. They've been able to put all their eggs in the transfer basket.
Mate, Richard Hughes cleared this desk earlier than that.
Yeah. Well, he was bevying on the weekend, wasn't he, on the party bus, so he must have knew as well. So I think they've done a fantastic job getting this one over the line. And I don't know if you had to, how much, convince is the right word, but I'm sure Jeremie Frimpong would have had options. Once everyone knew about that £35 million release clause, I think there would have been a lot of clubs interested in signing him at that fee. The fact that he's decided and Liverpool have got him there is wonderful news.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Joyce just tweeted as well. Liverpool have signed Jeremie Frimpong for $29.5 million from Bayer Leverkusen to begin their recruitment drive. He signed a 5-year deal. More on the Netherlands international at Times Sport. We're still refreshing Liverpool's official website for any more details and stuff like that. But I suppose, Steve, from your point of view, are you taking your hat off to the people behind the scenes that are finding out all these sorts of release clauses?
Yeah, absolutely. And they know everything, don't they? Liverpool seems to be back in the business, like I say, of best in class. I was speaking to Paul Gorst this morning on Journo Insight, and he said, like, someone described Richard Hughes to him as the best in the business. And I know Richard got a lot of stick last year because he didn't seem to do an awful lot. But, if he spent a year trying to find out as much as he can and knowing all these situations and where we're at, the fact that he can activate this clause, and like I say, they're front runners to sign Florian Wirtz, they're seemingly front runners to sign Milos Kerk. As I go back, they got 10 million quid roughly for a guy who's never going to kick a ball for us anyway. Like that shows me that they know what they're doing. Like they are, the best in class might be the correct phrase. The 5-year contract's interesting as well. There were rumours floating around there in the week that, maybe it was like 3 or 4 years and that eyebrows are raised. Well, 5 years of Jeremie Frimpong, that takes him up to age, 29 season. So Liverpool have got Jeremie Frimpong tied down to his peak now. When you've got players whose best attribute is pace, that is always something you worry about, is when's it going to go? Well, Liverpool have got him until the point where maybe it does start to go, and then you can make a decision on it near the time. So really, really smart business. And listen, it's a departure from what we've had. Alexander-Arnold to Jeremie Frimpong, if he is going to play as an orthodox right back, which you believe he is a massive difference. They're both wonderful players. They're both highly effective offensive players. They just do it in different ways. Trent passes the ball and Frimpong carries the ball. Is the really, really basics of it. But we've replaced an attacking option at right back, probably the best in the world, with a different one who just does it in a different way. And I'm fascinated to see how he looks, because I trust Arne Slot with my life now. In terms of tactics, he's proven in 1 year that he knows what he's doing. He's a master tactician. He's clearly got a plan for how he wants his right backs to play. And Jeremie Frimpong was the example, because you've said loads, Chris. A manager's first signing often tells you what that manager wants to be. Now, technically, Federico Chiesa was that, but he kind of wasn't. I think that was the opportunistic thing that popped up. Jeremie Frimpong feels like Arne Slot's first real signing, and that maybe tells a little about the type of team that
Well, it's not just that, it's the joined up thinking, isn't it? Obviously, we know Frimpong, we know Kerkez we're interested in advanced talks, of course. We know we're after Florian Wirtz. This first window it makes you think Liverpool are here to stay. We know we're going to challenge for the Premier League title, that's for sure, next season. And we're basically saying to anyone else, do you want to come and try and join us, lads? And that's what Frimpong is. I think tactically it's a really interesting one for me. You know, it's not plug and play. But that's only because I can analyse and I can't sort of predict what managers are going to do. Anybody can look back and if they've got the time to be able to analyse a game of football. We're lucky enough that we do have that time to sit back and analyse stuff. But actually being a coach and knowing what the plans are, like I would love to know what that PowerPoint that he showed Florian Wirtz looks like. I want to see the plan for Florian Wirtz. But I think it's joined up thinking across the board, and I've just done a deep dive with Josh on Plus, and we've looked at what Liverpool will look like with Frimpong and Kerkez, how they'll play. Wirtz, we've assumed we sign him, and you know what type of centre forward we'd need to fit in as well. And we've looked at that in terms of offensively, but also defensively, because I think off the ball it's really interesting. You know, do you move as an example for what the type of stuff we're talking about? Do you drop Szoboszlai a little bit deeper like he did against Brighton? Maybe you recover some of Trent's unbelievable passes by dropping Dom a little bit deeper because he's got that ability. We saw that against Brighton where he's hitting that over to the left wing on a sixpence. Maybe that's something we can do. And I feel we're getting an idea of what Arne Slot wants from this side, even though I don't think this season is a good example of how Liverpool are going to play. Yeah,
like I say, we'll wait and see what he does, but he's clearly, like I say, I'm reading the quote here, he said it was quite easy when Liverpool came and said they had interest. Obviously for me it was a no-brainer. He's been told, like if he's saying that, I love Conor Bradley, but Jeremie Frimpong's coming to play. Like I think it's his shirt, and then Conor Bradley's going to be in the rotation option with him, because I don't think he signs otherwise. You know, he goes on to say, you know,
no, let me do it because I've got the thing here in front of me. Yeah. So for me, it was like whatever you guys do, just get it done. When he was speaking to his agents, just get this done. Quite fitting, really. Obviously, we've announced him in the Nike kit, and he's basically just said, "Just do it." I'm sure Nike will have appreciated that. They'd probably like to change the wording just slightly there. Liverpool fans, I'm going to give my all, my energy, my work rate, and hopefully we can win together. We celebrate together, get everything together. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you guys for accepting me. I won't let you guys down, and I'll give you the energy that you guys want. Stay those words. They sound great, don't they?
Yeah, he knows he plays the PR game well, doesn't he? And that is what you expect of Jeremie Frimpong. The two things that immediately spring to mind when I think of him is pace. He is lightning, and his work rate, and his being fast is fine. Being fast and being able to get up and down that touchline constantly. Because if you are going to be such an offensive, attacking fullback weapon with pace to burn, you've got to get back. And our last right back wasn't always the best at doing that. I think, listen, for all Trent Alexander-Arnold's skills, and how good he was. Arne Slot said in the press conference, sometimes I have to tell him. Like, sometimes you have to give a little bit more. I doubt you're going to see that from Jeremie Frimpong. He's not going to be able to pass a ball like Alexander-Arnold. He just isn't. But he'll run more. I know for a fact he'll definitely do that. That's his game. He's more of a traditional option at right back, but he is so fast. And it adds a pace to the Liverpool side, but that was kind of lacking a little bit. So that's what I'm most excited about, just that raw pace. He's more Conor Bradley than Trent, isn't he, really? He's probably a better version at this stage. He's more polished than Conor Bradley, given the experience he had. You know, he's played over 250 senior football matches. You know, if you play 190 games for Leverkusen, 50 off for Celtic, he's played 12 times for the Netherlands. He's an experienced player now, so it'd be good for Conor Bradley to learn from him as well, because Conor Bradley probably can't learn too much from Trent because they're so different. Frimpong's actually more stylistically like him as well, so that'll be interesting. You know, if Frimpong can't play and Bradley does, the team probably doesn't need to change too much as well, which I'm sure is part of the thinking. But you know, again, I go back to it, mate, and I don't want to beat the Alexander-Arnold drum, but he didn't want to be here. No. So he didn't want to be here for us to hear and see the comments of a guy who did, because again, he would have had options. He could have stayed at Leverkusen, he could have went elsewhere. You know, him saying, you know, when I found out Liverpool were interested, I'm telling my agent to get it done. That's what we want. We want players who want to be here. If you don't want to be here, go away, see you later, go and fill your boots elsewhere. This guy wanted to play for Liverpool Football Club, which again, I know it's only he has to say what he has to say in the interviews, but that's so refreshing to hear. like Virgil van Dijk, it was always Liverpool. Those things just resonate with us. We're easily pleased, you know what I mean? We're like,
absolutely.
Work hard and want to be here and win trophies and you'll be adored. And Jeremie Frimpong's got 2 of those down already, and he's said himself about the third one. He's come here to win as well.
Okay, comment here. There was an article that said Frimpong had a personal coach for 1v1 defending as well, shows strong drive to improve. And I think the other thing that told me what type of a person Frimpong is and shows that drive is there was another one where he said that I see myself as a right back. Now I think he knew that there's not many teams around Europe that play sort of a 3 at the back and have that wing back thing. You can go and play for Antonio Conte somewhere. You might be able to get yourself a move to Madrid, but they don't spend money on transfers. Or you can go to Manchester United and no one's going to want to do that this summer. So he sees himself as a right back. This is the type of place where he can be a right back. Listen to this, Ste. I spoke to the manager a few times. He sounds very positive. He says I can bring a lot of energy and my qualities, my speed. Especially when a manager is talking positively about you, it gives you a very good confidence that he believes in you. I've had good conversations with him. Now this is the bit. I'm really excited to work with Arne Slot. Even when I was at the national team, some of the final boys would tell me about him. We were like, he's the best coach I've ever had. Stuff like that. So I've always heard good things about the coach. Now he's going to be my coach. I'm so excited for that. Mate, like we didn't love Arne Slot enough. Now you've got Pioneer players saying he's the best coach they've ever worked for, and players wanting to play for him.
Yeah, well, Florian Wirtz apparently saw the PowerPoint, didn't he, over Zoom or whatever, and was interested as well. So, yeah, Arne Slot's clearly got that pull. He's got the riz. It's... For me, mate, I go back to it and, you know, players want to be here now. That's what we want, you know, and Liverpool are attracting some of the best players around Europe. You know what excites me a lot as well? He's played 190 games for Leverkusen. He scored 30 goals. Mm-hmm. If your right back can score 1 in 6, you know, Alexander-Arnold got more. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold's best attribute was the assists, and you know, I think it's 44 assists in the 190 games for Leverkusen for Frimpong. Good numbers. You know, 77 goal involvements for your right back.
Yeah.
But he scores 30 goals, and we saw at Anfield, it was a tight offside call that stopped him scoring at Anfield. You know, he will make those runs, and he'll get himself in the box, and he'll make himself an option. You know, so. If it is, again, we're all hoping, we won't hope it's Florian Wirtz on the ball and it's Frimpong making those massive runs because, you know, Salah, as good as he is, he's in his 30s, he can't constantly be doing that all the time. His body probably isn't going to allow that, even though he's a supreme athlete. He plays it a different way. If it's Jeremie Frimpong making those runs forward, you know, your right back scoring 1 in 6, that's unbelievable. You know, Liverpool are going to play 50-odd games this year and he can get himself, what's that, around 9 goals? That's unbelievable, you know, set 8-9 goals. Oh, fantastic. And he's shown he can do it. That's brilliant. Get more goals in the team, why not?
It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? And the fee, you know, that 5-year contract, £29.5 million. Rumours right now, I'm still trying to find this, by the way, but rumours that this is going to be paid in 3 equal instalments. So basically 10 million quid a year. For a start, we've just got basically 10 million quid for Trent Alexander-Arnold. So that's year 1 boxed. Isn't the 10 million quid we got from Trent what they offered us in January, by the way?
Bit more, yeah.
Was it? Yeah, no, it can't have been much more than that, like, you know what I mean? So there you go. Liverpool Echo. You can see this right at the top of my page. The release clause will be paid in 3 separate annual instalments, and the transfer itself will formally go through when the window opens on Sunday the 1st of June. Frimpong becomes the first sign of the summer, just the 3rd since Arne Slot and Richard Hughes arrived at the club, following on from the 10 million edition of Federico Chiesa and Mamadashvili. Wow. 3 equal instalments. Even that side of things would seem to be doing well.
Well, yeah, we have to become accounting experts now as footy fans, don't we? It's mad. James Pearce's tweet's interesting. He says he's not viewed as a like-for-like replacement for Trent. He's more of a versatile option for the right flank. That is another thing that it's worth mentioning here. Like, Liverpool are losing Mo Salah to AFCON. Maybe they see a world where Jeremie Frimpong and Conor Bradley play in the same team. You know, he's been more of a wing back than a right back recently. So again, he offers flexibility for both. That's fantastic. He's not going to play much when Mo Salah's around. The guarantee Mo Salah just doesn't rest. He doesn't take time off. But there will be a period when we are without him. And in years gone by, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Harvey Elliott have filled that role on that right-hand side. It's been tough, Luis Diaz, a little bit because Salah's first choice, you haven't really got a backup right back because you never play. So if your backup right back is backup right winger rather, is a lad who can also do jobs at right back, he's going to get game time in both. That is interesting. That does appeal to me as well because again, he does know where the back of the net is. He's proven that. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on, the fact that he can do a job at right wing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something to keep an eye on, isn't it? I think, under Louis van Gaal, he was viewed in the Netherlands as not good enough to play in the front three. And actually in 2023, I think it was, maybe Koeman decided that he wasn't sort of technically good enough to be a right back for them, and he didn't have the attacking prowess. He said, for the sake of both sides of this, by the way, this is.
Yep.
Koeman said he didn't have the ability to and the attacking prowess to play in that front three, but he's made 12 appearances since those comments, and they have come in the front three for the most part here.
Well, they use Dumfries at right back a lot, don't they? I think I'm right saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but Frimpong has played in the front three for the Netherlands now. I think 12 times in total, something like that. So. He's clearly versatile, as you'd mentioned. So, absolute bargain of a signing here for Liverpool Football Club, and we've not even touched on the fact, Steve, that he's homegrown.
That's a bonus, absolute bonus in a world where, again, you lose Alexander-Arnold, you're probably going to lose Kevin Kelleher. There's Harvey Elliott maybe leaving the football club as well. There's talk of one of Joe Gomez or Jarell Kwanzaa leaving. There's 4 or 5 lads who in that homegrown quota who go straight away. The fact that Liverpool signed the Dutch international for a net of £29 million or whatever, an outlay of £29 million minus the 10 you get for Trent. And the homegrown thing's massive. It's an absolute bonus. Peek behind the curtain. We recorded Keep Sell Loan. That's going to go out on Monday, me and Lewis. And that was definitely a consideration. We had to, realize 17 non-homegrown players in your squad. Liverpool are there or thereabouts anyway. By the time they make other signings, if they sign Kerkez, which we think they will, if they sign Florian Wirtz, like we think they will, they're right up against that border. For him to be able to come in and fit that quota is absolutely huge. Usually to sign a homegrown player, it costs you more money because they're usually English and there's usually an English tax. Declan Rice, Jack Grealish, etc. Look how much Everton are asking for Jared Brantwaite. He hasn't even played for England and they're asking for a massive fee. The fact that we can tick that box, we've almost found a loophole in the system there, haven't we? We've almost cheated the system. The fact that he was at City and Celtic when he was so young is really, it feels a bit like we've cheated one out there. That shouldn't be a thing. A Dutch international shouldn't be a homegrown player, but he is. And by the way, our third choice Czech Republic goalkeeper's homegrown as well. Liverpool are playing the system. Again, it goes back to people in charge being really clever. They're not stupid. They know this stuff. They know what they're doing. It really, really helps. It absolutely helps.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I suppose it just says for me, if you want to go and watch the deep dive, then we've got a free code for you. You can use the code CHAMPIONS at a club captain subscription level over on redmenplus.com. Mine and Josh's deep dive where we look at the tactics there. Ste and Josh will be live very shortly as well with the Red Men Reacts. He's sticking around for this one. So yeah, I suppose I don't want to put anyone out because I know how this stuff can work at times, but for those who do celebrate, happy Frimpong Friday. And obviously let's look out for my Lost Monday or me Lost Monday as well, and let's not forget Vert Wednesday, because these are all potential things that are coming up over the next week or so. Stay big thank you to you as ever. Thank you to Jeremie Frimpong, who is a Red, and thank you to everyone watching in the comments. We'll see you soon. Ta-ra.